In this video, we are going to take a look at Tara VanDerveer retiring from Stanford. We will give her well-deserved flowers, but as well, we will look at the rumblings and rumors that Kiki Iriafen is transferring. And is this related to VanDerveer's retirement in a chicken and egg or an egg and chicken type situation? We'll go into that later, but before we start, if you like the content, then please consider subscribing to the channel. All right, let's get into this. The Stanford women's basketball program sent a message out on X basically saying the GOAT says goodbye, and the whole thing is a little bit odd, but we will go into that. But first of all, Tara VanDerveer is a legend of the game. She's obviously a top 5 coach of all time. She won 3 NCAA titles. She's been to 14 Final Fours. This year, she passed Mike Krzyzewski in the all-time wins list, and she will finish up with 1,216 wins. She initially started coaching in 1978 at Idaho and was there for 2 years before going to Ohio State in 1980, and she spent 5 seasons there, taking them to their first Elite Eight, and then she took a big chance going to Stanford and went out there in 1985. I remember reading a story where her dad told her not to take the Stanford job, that she'd be crazy to do that, but she took a chance and it worked out, and she built that program from the ground up. Stanford won national championships in 1990, 92, and 2021. She is one of 5 coaches to accomplish that feat, and it must be said, building a program in Stanford in the era of Tennessee and Pat Summitt and Gino Auriemma, it's impressive. Now, as I alluded to, her leaving is interesting. It's surprising that there wasn't like a big press conference. It was just a release on X. It has the feel of all being very last minute. And here's where the speculation comes in. So just a couple of days ago, the San Francisco Chronicle did a story saying it would be the nightmare scenario for Stanford if Kiki Iriafen transferred. The article outlined that she is due to transfer this year, so her 3rd year, and she could do graduate studies at another university, or she could choose to stay like Hannah Jump did. Like, she did 5 years at Stanford as well. So those 2 options. But that article, after that article, there's been a lot of speculation on all the message boards and everywhere else. It seems like Kiki Iriafen is looking to transfer. Now, at the time of recording this, I cannot find any confirmed reports that say that is happening, but the speculation is definitely out there. And then you combine that with Tara VanDerveer's sudden retirement. That's why it's even going more wild now, is why would Tara VanDerveer all of a sudden retire? Now, some would say she doesn't want to go to the ACC, all the travel, and why would she want to do that at her age? And maybe she always had planned to retire at the end of the season. But if that was the case, then she certainly held her cards well, as after their loss to NC State, she was talking about how members of the team would need to improve the following season. She said in the postgame that she used Oregon State as an example to her team, saying they won 13 games last year and 4 Pac-12 games. Their kids stuck together, got in the gym, and they got better. And that certainly seemed to be what her plan was. So the obvious speculation is word got out that Iriafen was looking to transfer, and Tara VanDerveer was like, oh, do I really want to do all that travel to the ACC, to the different sites in the ACC, to get whooped playing basketball with a lesser team? And why don't I go ahead and just retire? Now, the replacement for Tara VanDerveer's already been named. It's longtime assistant coach Kate Payne, she was actually born at Stanford Hospital. So she actually won a championship with Tara VanDerveer and was an assistant coach and is a good recruiter. But it's obviously a nervous time for Stanford basketball fans because your legend coach has just retired. You're going into a new conference, and potentially the best player that you have left over, because Cameron Brink has declared for the draft, is potentially transferring out. And let's say it's totally wrong. Kiki Iriafen potentially transferring has nothing to do with Tara VanDerveer's retirement, and that may be the case. There's nothing to say that the 2 are linked, but even if they aren't linked, there is still the potential that Kiki Iriafen can say, I signed to play at Stanford with legendary coach Tara VanDerveer and play in the Pac-12. I wasn't for the travel, the ACC travel, and I am out of here. I have my degree, and it would be quite reasonable for her to do that. So when I mentioned chicken and egg earlier, would Kiki Iriafen, is her potentially leaving causing Tara VanDerveer to retire, or could Tara VanDerveer's retirement potentially cause Kiki Iriafen to transfer or go into the transfer portal? As I said, currently I cannot see anything confirmed that she has transferred or entered the transfer portal, but I do expect to go to sleep tonight and then wake up in the morning and find out that it is confirmed that she is gone into the portal. And then this is where the second aspect goes. Like, people will throw flowers at Tara VanDerveer and tell you how wonderful it is, but then the basketball fans are like, all right, like Sharks in the Water, all the different programs, can we get Kiki Iriafen? It's much like Oregon State. Oh, it's such a shame what's going on at Oregon State. All their players are transferring out. But then immediately after that, could we get Talia Van Alhoffen to come to our team? Or, man, we need a big, and Tamia Gardner would be a nice fit on our team. As well, why would Regan Beers want to stick around on a decimated Oregon State team? So instead of sadness for Oregon State, immediately the fan and coaches are like, players to pick off that would look good on our roster. And have no doubt, Kiki Iriafen would look good on most any roster, because this last season was a big breakthrough season for her, as she went for 19 points, 11 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and shot 54% from the floor. She was a real good 1-2 punch with Cameron Brink, and actually fit better. Her game fit better with Brink, I thought, than Lauren Betts. And she's just real versatile. She can take the ball up high, give dribble handoffs, or pass from the high post, but also she can post up hard down low. Now, to me, she reminds me a little bit of Aaliyah Edwards, but she's a little bit more fluid, but they have similar physiques and sort of that power forward position, like they're both 6'3". Now, if Iriafen enters the portal, she will be the number one player in the portal. I've heard speculation about 3 schools, so one would be Duke. They are obviously building talent there. Kara Lawson has that program on the move upward, so you could see that. The other one is Notre Dame. There's speculation about Notre Dame. And then, of course, the UConn message boards are going crazy and saying, oh, how good would Kiki look in our team? That would be the final piece. But on both of those teams, Notre Dame or UConn, she would be a great asset, great piece to them, and almost be like that final piece of the puzzle. Now I will hand it over to you. Do you feel like Kiki Iriafen is going into the transfer portal? Do you think it's related to Tara VanDerveer's retirement? Do you think Tara put in her retirement essentially when she heard that Kiki was going to go into the transfer portal? Or do you think the two were just totally unrelated? And then lastly, if she is going to the transfer portal, where is she going? I want your comments as well. Do you think I have it wrong? Is there a school I left out where you think she's more likely than not going? Did I leave off an obvious choice of where she should be going or where she might go? If I did, then put it down in the comments. Happy for your feedback, your poise, and everything else. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.